Hi, I'm Richard Alexander from Origami Do, and today we're going to learn how to fold WXYZ by Tung Ken Lam. This is an amazing modular origami. It looks like 4 triangles have collided at high speed, jamming into each other. In fact, it's 12 pieces of paper, and we're going to learn how to fold each of those modules. We're going to use regular origami paper, which is white on the back, and fold it in half neatly by pushing the opposite edges of the square into your index fingers. Drop that to the table, press in the center, and then out to each side. And I like to use a folding tool for this model because the neater you fold these elements, the more neatly it goes together. Now, there is a way you can make this model fold more easily, and you'll notice that I have folded this against the grain because the next fold requires you folding the 2-layer assembly, also pushing the opposite edges into your fingertips, placing that on the table. This fold is much easier if you're folding with the grain right here. For this particular model, we need to set up a 60-degree angle. The easiest way to do that from a square, even though I've got a smaller square, is to bring this tip with these pair of corners back over to the center. I'm using the tips of my finger to align the corner, and I'm just making a pinch only on the cut edge side of this assembly. We can let that go and do the same thing by rotating the other pair of unattached corners down to the center, making a pinch. And we have something that almost looks like a birthday card, where the card has been folded with the fold on the top, and this would be the front flap. We're going to use this point where my index finger is moving up and down as a pivot, and we're going to pivot at that point by stopping it with our fingernail, bringing the upper right corner down to our center mark. Make sure all of the flaps are flat, and when you commit the crease, go ahead and take a look at it, because if you have over or hyperextended the paper, it will roll around the corner. You don't want that either. You do want a nice sharp point. We're going to do the same thing on the back. Once again, bring this folded edge across using our center fold as a stop. Line up the points. It's good to do it on the table. We're lining up this point with the little valley pinch that we made, and we're committing that fold. Before you crease it with your bone folder, make sure that these edges line up and that your points are good and sharp. Then go ahead and kiss it with the edge of a bone folder or a folding tool. You can even use a plastic spoon. So here we have both of these flaps brought to the center mark, and that sets up this very interesting set of angles. Now, when you're making modular origami that requires several folds back and forth, it's a good idea to alternate the layers so that you're not building up more of the paper on one side than the other. We're actually bringing this folded edge down to the center, and when I open this, you'll see that we're making a basic fan fold arrangement where we have a valley and then a mountain, valley and a mountain, keeping the layers together. This requires that we keep our central shape on the table while we actually open each of the side pockets to make this particular shape that I tell my students looks like a white-winged fly. And if we do the same thing with the other side, we'll coax this flap up, insert our folding tool, and now we have a pair of white-winged flies on the table. In order to keep this model symmetrical, we're going to exercise the hinge and make sure that all of the layers of paper align we're just folding both of those white wing flies to the other side and then using the bone folder to bring all of the edges together and reposition any creases that might be a little different than they were on the other side. In order to make sure that this piece is going to be symmetrical, you can even set it on the table and it should look like that. We're going to fold each of these white wing flies in half by making a mountain fold right down the center. And if I do that, you'll notice that we can coax the folds to a perfect point right in the center. Might be more difficult looking at blue against blue, but on my fingertip I think you can see that's a nice sharp point. We complete the module, we complete the element by just folding each of these white flaps tightly against the colored paper, making a valley fold that will go along the edge where the white meets the color. And if I do that to all four of those white wings, I'm going to make sure it comes right up tight. You can feel when it's together. It's also helpful to see that these folded edges do not cross the center line. The module is complete. You'll need 3 of 4 different colors, and we'll stand these feet on the table, and it can stand on either pair of feet. That is the module for Tung Ken Lam's WXYZ. So come back when you have 3 pieces of 4 different colors. Okay, we're back, and it will help if you stand each of these elements on a pair of their feet, because the feet will eventually be out at an angle. And I'm starting with 4 different colors because I'm going to construct what is called a node. A node is nothing more than a junction of these different colored pieces. And you'll notice that I'm slipping a pair of feet inside the slit, making sure that the slits meet at the very bottom. So I'm going to open one of the doors, slide one of the feet inside of the green piece, close the door on the other side of the red, and then work on the red by opening the door, inserting the feet from the purple piece, closing the door on the red, coming back to the very first piece that we had, opening the purple door, sliding in one of the white feet from the blue piece, and I have completed a node, a 4-colored node. Now you can kind of manipulate this so that all of the slots and all of the tabs are lined up, and you should see a nice, neat progression of the colors. The nice thing about this particular module is that all 3 of the green points will be planar, meaning they will appear to go right through this blue point and come out the other end. So here's another green piece. All I have to do is open the door of the blue, slide my green piece in, and because it needs to come back this way, we know that we have to open the green door and let the purple go in. So here we have another node, but this one is different because there's only 3 colors. The nodes on this particular module will alternate between 4 colors and 3 colors. Let's go ahead and put the second blue piece in. This is a little bit more difficult, and all we need to do is just kind of loosen things, lay them back, slide one foot in, and open just enough to get the second foot of the blue. Don't worry, it's only paper. We're going to open this blue piece and swing one of the feet in from the red. Now we've made another 3-colored node, and let's add our second purple piece right in the middle of this slot. Whichever side is easier, just kind of open it, and you'll see that the green piece wants to stay planar. That means we open the purple, slip a foot inside of the slot of the purple, and close it back up. We know that we'll have a green one coming straight through this purple. We'll open the purple, slide in a foot, close the door, and we know that we must open the green in order to accept the feet from the blue. Closing the door. So far so good. We have all three of our green triangular points, and it's a good time to just kind of handle the piece enough to let the elements settle in. We need a red piece coming out of this blue point, so be brave. Just kind of open. Certainly if you have a friend, this is probably a good model to take advantage of an extra pair of hands to hold it as you're inserting these feet. You can do it alone, but it's more fun with a friend. It also will give them some experience with modular origami, the wonderful world of building things that you can only imagine in your dreams. And this green will come out of this red piece. We're getting there. See how the red piece is planar? Well, here we are. All we need is the last three pieces to come in. And you can kind of see how I built the geometry. And each of the three pieces that are left need to lock into the three slots left in the green. We do know that this red piece will complete the triad of red corners by going in here, so they must lock into this green piece. And just kind of finesse the tabs. And since we have an opening on this side of the red slot, we can do that. On the other side, we know we must have a purple piece coming through here, and I can push these aside while I insert the purple into the green. Just like that. And I have to bring the red feet over to the purple side on this side. And on this side. Okay, we could close that down. We're getting there. We have to have one more blue piece put in. We'll go right in there, and it would be nice if I could just open all of these tabs at once and slide them right inside of these opposing purple. We can do this just like this. And then all we have to do is insert the blue tabs into the green. Here's one side. And the last is over here. You may want to use a bone folder or a pointed tool to open up the remaining slot. So we've got all of the feet in the right slots, and it's just a matter of kind of readjusting and positioning and aligning the internal tabs and pockets. Looks pretty good though. We have 4 intersecting triangles. This one's a little bit rough. There we go. It's flattened down. And you'll see that I have different nodes of 4, 3, 3, 4, 4, and the triangles. Blue, green, red, purple. Enjoy.